Hello, my name is Natalia Delgado. I am a graphic designer and professor for the OST Micromedia program at Vanier College in Montreal, Canada. I want to thank Pradita University and Professor Irwan Arnoko for inviting me to participate in this wonderful project, commenting on some of my favorite works from Irwan's class. I think this is a great idea. It's always great for students to get as much feedback as possible on their work, and very interesting to get maybe a different perspective from someone from a different culture, from a different country, and from the industry. So congratulations for this great idea. I'm going to be commenting on my favorite works. It was really hard to choose. I really want to, first of all, congratulate everyone in the class for their great work. All the pieces were really fun, funky, dynamic, colorful, eye-catching. So it really came down to, I guess, personal taste, aesthetics, and the ones that I had like the stronger first visual impact on me. So I'm going to be commenting on three pieces. First one is by Secal, second one is by Eileen, and the third one is by Phoebe. The first work that I chose is by Secal. I really like this work because it's using a very risky color combination. The complementaries yellow and purple is very strong, it's definitely eye-catching, but it can also be a little bit off-putting. So it's definitely a risk, and I think it paid off well. And also I like that this composition has a lot of elements. There's image, there's color, there's pattern, lots of like Gothic fonts, calligraphic fonts, and yet everything sort of works together. I think it was really smart to make the image black and white because this helps tone down the strong impact of the yellow and purple. And also by having it be a human face, psychologically it connects with the audience through their eye. By eliminating the other eye and only having one eye, that becomes really the focal point of the design. And even the bubblegum, which would be very normally would draw a lot of attention, because it's purple, because it's overlapping with the text, it becomes secondary, and really the only element that's really clean is the eye, and so it calls on my attention. My suggestion would be maybe to place the eye using the rule of thirds to make this even stronger. But overall, I think you did a really good job playing with the typography, and especially making old font, ancient font, really fresh and modern. I think that's my favorite thing about this design is having Gothic fonts look really pop, really fresh. So that's I think what really called my attention and my favorite thing about this piece. The second work I chose is by Eliana, and this is a personal favorite because I really love the combination, the aposematic triad of red, white, and black. I think this is a really strong combination. It's used a lot in protest posters because of this, because it has this primal connection with humans. You know, we have the good and the evil, black and white, and then the red, which is blood, life. So we immediately connect to it and react. And here it's a little bit toned down by the semicircle, the blue semicircle, but still very eye-catching. And the other thing that I really liked was that it uses typography as a vector, as a more like illustrative element, but also by having these newspaper images, it brings typography in a photographic way. And I thought that was really interesting and sort of gives depth to the design. I think the most successful part of the composition is the red circle, because the red circle really works as the focal point, the resting point, where I can go around the chaos of the composition and always go back to this solid red circle. And that is very important in a combination, and that works really well here. You completely destroy and deform the fonts, becomes very liquid, and everything else flows except for that. My critique for this piece would be, I don't think the rose is necessary. I would maybe have the rose be another circle. Because it's the only figurative element, it sort of competes with the circle for attention. And I like that everything else is kind of abstract. Even the newspaper is very abstract because you're only showing pieces. So I would get rid of the rose or change it to an abstract element to make your composition even stronger. But I think overall it has a really good balance. Again, a lot of elements, yet good balance, allowing me to go through the composition. I don't feel overwhelmed. I feel intrigued, and I feel like I want to know more about this visual story. So congratulations on that. The last image that I chose is by Phoebe. What I liked about this image, unlike the other ones, is that it's a lot cleaner, and it's only based on very simple elements, and yet there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of fun, there's a lot of dynamism going on in the image. I really like the use of diagonals. The mast of the bee is super strong, and then this horizontal invisible line that turns elements from blurry to sharp. I think that was very smart and very interesting as well. And one of the things that I really liked about your design was that you have the main character, the main bee, but there's also these supportive characters, the little bees that are placed around the composition, and you don't see them at first. You get drawn in by the bee, which is what a design should do. You know, you should have this eye-catching element that brings the audience in, and then once we connect it, you can see all these little details that show you how the designer spent a lot of time working on it, same as the dotted lines. And I know these sort of random elements can be some of the most difficult to actually place strategically in a composition. So I really appreciated the subtleness of the little bees. I think the color combination, again, having this sort of opposite sides of the spectrum and the, you know, in the color wheel, sort of a warm color, cool color combination, also is like very punchy, very fresh. My one critique for this one would be to be careful when the orange is it gets like cut off on the left side of the composition. It creates a little bit of visual noise and distracts from the rest. So I would have the orange just go and continue off the page, so that you don't have this sort of like little line in the corner calling attention. Other than that, I think it's very strong. I also like very much how you use this rectangular elements to support your composition. And I like that this composition, the texts, other than the bee, that it's blurred and a little bit deformed, you can still tell that it's a bee. All the text is legible, and yet it's fun. So it has that element of communication while being really funky and dynamic at the same time. So I think that would be one of the strengths of your design. You just have to be careful with the edges, like the orange and the bee. But other than that, it's very strong, and I was very impressed by the three designs that I got to review. And overall, I think your class is doing really good with having this destroying typography in a creative way. And I want to congratulate everyone for their excellent work. Thanks again to Professor Irwan and Pradita University for the invitation, and I hope to continue to see more of your work in the future. Bye-bye.